Chapter 1: The Quantum Cucumber Catastrophe. In the GarageTurn lab, Rick is tinkering with a peculiar device encasing an oversized cucumber. Morty, skeptical as ever, questions the sanity of Rick's latest experiment. "Behold, Morty," Rick exclaims, "I'm about to create a pocket universe inside this cucumber. It's going to revolutionize space storage tech." Morty, half amused and half concerned, watches as Rick activates the device. A bright light envelops them, and a strange shrinking sensation follows. When the light fades, they find themselves inside a vast green landscape under a sky streaked with vibrant salad ingredients. They've been miniaturized inside the very cucumber universe Rick wanted to create. As they navigate this crunchy green world, Morty is bewildered by the civilization that unfolds before them. Sentient salads roam the lands, engaging in what appears to be day-to-day activities, agricultural, social, and oddly enough, bureaucratic. Rick, unfazed by the sentience of salads, is focused on finding the core of the cucumber, what the device has miniaturized and stored in his garage. He plans to reverse the process and restore them to their original size. However, things get complicated when they are apprehended by a patrol of Caesar guards, armored in crouton exoskeletons and wielding dressing spears. They mistake Rick and Morty for rogue vegetables that need to be tossed back into the salad societal mix. In a turn of events that combines the peculiar with the dangerous, Rick and Morty must prove their intelligence to the salad beings to gain their trust and receive help. They have to blend in, learning the crisp culture and dressing-based economics to navigate this bizarre world, all while looking for a way to reach the cucumber's core and hopefully get back to their own universe. And so begins their quest, dodging cherry tomato boulders, traversing rivers of ranch dressing, and befriending radish scholars, all in a day's work for the universe's most unconventional grandfather-grandson duel. Chapter 2: Interdimensional HR Insanity. Having successfully convinced the salad sentinels of their non-vegetable status, Rick and Morty continue their quest towards the cucumber's core. But as they traverse the leafy landscape, a sudden vortex sucks them out of the salad dimension and into a stark, sterile office space filled with cubicles as far as the eye can see. "This isn't the core," Morty mutters, bewildered by the shift from organic greens to the monochromatic grays of office life. "No kidding, Morty," Rick retorts, scanning their surroundings. "This is Dimension HR 1998, the cosmic hub of bureaucratic baloney. Every form from every corner of the multiverse gets processed here." Before they can react, a group of creatures that look like floating filing cabinets with arms approaches them, each carrying a stack of paperwork. The new recruits." One of the creatures buzzes. "Please fill out the standard multiverse employment forms. Forms A38 to A120 are mandatory before proceeding to orientation." Rick rolls his eyes but grabs the forms. "We'll have to blend in and play along, Morty. One of these forms will have a requisition order for a dimensional stapler. That's our ticket out of here." Morty, flustered, sits down at a vacant desk and starts filling out forms. His pencil flies across the paper, checking boxes at random, hoping to finish the task as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Rick starts concocting a chemical from office supplies that should react with the dimensional stapler to create a portal back to the garage. Amidst the hustle, Morty's form filling attracts the attention of the HR manager, the giant walking photocopier, who is impressed by Morty's apparent diligence. It promotes Morty on the spot to a middle management position, giving him access to the coveted office supplies closet, the very place where the dimensional stapler is kept. While Morty navigates his unexpected rise through the bureaucratic ranks, Rick causes a commotion by demonstrating a new efficiency booster to the office drones, which is actually a ruse to get everyone out of the office for his and Morty's escape. With office workers evacuated and Morty in possession of the dimensional stapler, they prepare for a quick exit. But just as they activate the stapler, the HR manager appears, sensing something amiss. It's a race against the clock as Morty struggles with his conscience about abandoning his new team, and Rick urges him to prioritize their own reality. As the chapter closes, they leap through the portal, leaving behind a trail of bewildered office workers and a mountain of incomplete TPS reports. The dimensional rift seals with a pop, and they find themselves somewhere entirely new, yet somehow familiar. The garage, but not quite as they left it. Chapter 3: Jerry's Galactic Gambit. Back in the Smith household, the garage portal flares to life as Rick and Morty tumble out, back to their regular size, but not without a new problem. While they were gone, Jerry, in an attempt to prove his worth to the family, has brought home what he believes to be a rare interstellar mineral. In reality, it's an egg containing a rapidly growing alien overlord from the planet Zorban. Beth, already annoyed by Jerry's latest escapade, watches in horror as the mineral begins to hatch, revealing a small, blob-like creature with an uncanny ability to command attention and the household appliances. The creature, which Jerry has already affectionately named Rocky, quickly matures, becoming more articulate and assertive. It starts ordering the family around, demanding lavish comforts and exotic foods, all while growing larger and sprouting new limbs at an alarming rate. Summer, trying to focus on her own problems, ignores the chaos, while Jerry insists that Rocky is just going through a phase. Beth, on the other hand, is not so easily swayed and seeks Rick's help to contain the situation. Rick, fresh from his bureaucratic adventure, is initially indifferent until Rocky commandeers his lab for throne room. This galactic power move finally sparks Rick's interest in deposing the unintended house guest. Morty is tasked with keeping Rocky entertained, leading to a series of comedic misadventures as Morty tries to satisfy the aliens' increasingly bizarre whims, from constructing a monument made of living room furniture to creating an abstract painting using only kitchen supplies. As the family dynamics devolve into a sitcom of cosmic proportions, Rick quietly observes Rocky's behavior, formulating a plan. He deduces that the alien overlord is actually a runaway prince from Zorban, avoiding his responsibilities back home. Using his connections, Rick contacts the royal family of Zorban, offering to return their prodigal son in exchange for a hefty reward. The Zorbonians agree, and a majestic spaceship descends upon the Smith residence. The Zorbonian king and queen, regal and imposing, step out to retrieve their wayward offspring. Rocky, realizing the jig is up, attempts to bargain with Jerry for sanctuary, promising him a position of power in the Zorbonian court. Jerry, flattered but firm, declines, understanding that some rocks are best left unturned or unhatched. As Rocky is escorted onto the ship, the family waves goodbye, not entirely sure if they'll miss the alien overlord or the excitement he brought. The Zorbonians, grateful to have their heir back, leave behind a parting gift, a device that promises to clean any mess with the press of a button, a device that will unwittingly lead to the next chapter of the Smith family's interdimensional escapades. Chapter 4. Summer's multiphasic match. The Smith family has barely had time to settle back into normalcy when Summer discovers the Zorbonian gift left behind. It's a sleek, alien device with a single button and a note that reads, "For the message you can see and the ones you can't." Curious and a bit reckless, Summer presses the button. In an instant, Summer finds herself split into multiple versions of herself, each attending to different aspects of her life: school, social media, and most importantly, her love life. This multiphasic existence seems perfect at first, allowing her to be everywhere she wants simultaneously. One of these phases includes a date with Ethan, her sometimes boyfriend, who is unaware of the multiverse shenanigans. As they sit in the living room awaiting a pizza delivery, another phase of Summer is across town, meeting a new boy, a multi-dimensional being named Xander who can exist in multiple places at once without any devices. Xander is charming, with an otherworldly charm that both intrigues and overwhelms Summer. They bond over their shared experiences of being in multiple places at once, and Summer feels a connection she hasn't felt with anyone else before. Meanwhile, back at the Smith household, the other phases of Summer start to glitch. The device, not meant for human biology, begins to falter, causing the Summers to phase in and out at the most inopportune times. One minute she's on her date with Ethan, the next she's at school taking a test she hadn't studied for, and then she's back home, trying to manage the chaos. Beth and Jerry, witnessing their daughter's predicament, call upon Rick for assistance. Rick, after a brief examination of the device, realizes the Zorbonian's gift is a prototype not meant for long-term use, especially not by humans. Summer's date with Ethan reaches an awkward climax as two of her phases overlap, revealing her double booking to Ethan. As the Summers converge, their experiences blend, creating a mix-up of emotions and memories that leave her disoriented. Rick, in a race against time, works to synthesize a stabilizer to bring Summer back to a singular phase before she's permanently scattered across dimensions. Morty, feeling responsible for the whole situation, aids Rick in a haphazard lab assistant role. In the final moments, as Summer's various phases threaten to pull her into a quantum void, Rick activates the stabilizer. There's a flash of light, and Summer is whole again, sitting in her living room with a confused Ethan, who has no memory of the events. Summer, with a newfound appreciation for a singular existence, decides to take a break from dating altogether, focusing instead on the one life she's sure she has. As for the Zorbonian device, Rick decides to lock it away. After all, some gifts are more trouble than they are worth, especially when they come from a family of alien overlords. Chapter 5, Morty's Temporal Tantrum. In the aftermath of Summer's multiphasic mishap, life in the Smith household has returned to its version of normal. However, the universe has a way of keeping the family on their toes. Rick is in the garage, tinkering with the Zorbonian device, attempting to repurpose it for his own experiments. Morty, still feeling the sting of being an unwitting accomplice to Summer's dilemma, hovers nearby, eager to help but nervous about triggering another disaster. Stand back, Morty. I'm going to recalibrate the temporal field matrix. Rick announces with his usual lack of concern for potential consequences. There's a bright flash, a loud pop, and then silence. Morty looks around, confused. He's back in the living room, just in time to see Summer press the Zorbonian device once again. He's caught in a time loop, reliving the moments leading up to Summer's split. Morty panics, rushing to the garage to stop Rick. But as he reaches him, there's another flash, and the loop begins anew. After several cycles, Morty starts to grasp the pattern and realizes he's the only one aware of the loop. He must break it himself. Each loop gives Morty a chance to try something new, to intervene in different ways, but each attempt ends in the same result: the flash, the pop, and the reset. With each iteration, Morty becomes more frantic but also more determined. Finally, Morty takes a different approach. Instead of rushing to prevent the activation of the device, he decides to embrace the loop, to learn from it. He observes Rick closely, memorizing his grandfather's actions, the device's settings, the placement of every dial and button. Armed with knowledge, Morty confronts Rick just before the next reset. Rick, the device. It needs a temporal sync, or it'll keep looping us. Rick, taken aback by Morty's sudden assertiveness and technical jargon, pauses. He considers Morty's words, and with a grunt of acknowledgement, he makes a slight adjustment to the device. The loop breaks. There's no flash, no pop. Instead, the garage door opens to reveal a normal Earth evening outside. Morty breathes a sigh of relief, but his relief is short-lived. The temporal disruptions have attracted unwanted attention. A time-monitoring agency from the Fourth Dimensional Bureau appears, displeased with the Smith family's repeated tampering with time. They issue a stern warning: any more temporal disturbances, and there will be severe consequences. Rick waves them off with his usual bravado, but Morty knows better. He's seen firsthand the dangers of playing with time. As the agents disappear into their own dimension, Morty makes a silent promise to himself to avoid any more of Rick's time-related experiments, at least for the foreseeable future. Chapter 6, The Beth's Paradoxical Powwow. The temporal warning weighs heavily on the household, prompting a family meeting to discuss the recent surge of interdimensional incidents. During the meeting, Beth expresses her frustration with the constant upheaval. Rick, in an attempt to offer a solution, pulls out a small, innocuous-looking gadget. This, Beth, is the Dimensional Divergence Dialer. It'll let you chat with other versions of yourself. Maybe they've figured out how to deal with this chaos. Rick explains, with a hint of pride. Beth, intrigued but cautious, turns the dial and is immediately greeted by the appearance of several versions of herself from various dimensions, each with her own unique lifestyle and personality. They are connected in a conference call of Beth's, a paradoxical powwow in the living room. One is a daring space adventurer, another a successful surgeon, and yet another is an accomplished artist. They share stories of their worlds, their families, and how they balance the demands of life with the absurdity that comes with being Rick Sanchez's daughter. As they converse, Beth Prime, or Beth, becomes increasingly aware of her own dissatisfaction with the mundane, despite the madness that regularly disrupts their lives. The other Beths advise her on managing the unpredictable nature of their father, suggesting strategies ranging from strict boundaries to outright mutiny. However, as the council progresses, Beth Prime realizes that despite their achievements and freedom, the other Beths lack something she values deeply: a cohesive family unit, flawed but loving. Meanwhile, Jerry, Morty, and Summer eavesdrop on the conversation, gaining insights into Beth's inner turmoil. Jerry, feeling inadequate compared to the heroic versions of himself he hears about, decides it's time to step up as the stabilizing force in the family. Inspired by the council, Beth Prime decides to take action. She orchestrates a family intervention, not just for Rick, but for all of them, to address their roles in the ongoing chaos. They agree to work together as a unit to prevent future incidents, with each member taking responsibility for their actions. As the dimensional divergence dialer fades away, along with the Council of Beths, the Smith family feels a renewed sense of unity. Beth, feeling empowered, vows to use the insights gained to forge a better path for herself and her family, one that might not be free from chaos, but will be tackled together. The chapter closes with the family sitting down at dinner, sharing a rare moment of peace. Rick, however, can't help but glance at the garage, pondering his next adventure. For now, though, he joins the meal, a small smirk on his face, perhaps proud of his daughter's resolve. Chapter 7, Meeseeks Mayhem. After the family intervention, the Smiths are determined to work as a team. Still, Jerry feels the pressure to prove his worth, especially after hearing about the more heroic versions of himself. Seeking to demonstrate his value, Jerry stumbles upon Rick's Meeseeks box in the garage. "I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me," exclaims the bright blue creature as it pops into existence, ready to serve. Jerry, eager for some assistance, tasks the Meeseeks with something he believes will be simple, to make him appear cool to his family. The Meeseeks, ever so cheerful, accepts the challenge but soon realizes this task is anything but straightforward. Jerry's definition of cool is nebulous, and the creature struggles to pinpoint a solution. The Meeseeks decides that the task requires more than one of its kind and summons more Meeseeks into the fray. The Smith household quickly becomes overrun with blue beings, each attempting different strategies to fulfill their objective, from giving Jerry a makeover to organizing a family talent show featuring Jerry as the star. Chaos ensues as the Meeseeks' efforts clash. One group of Meeseeks turns the living room into a makeshift nightclub with Jerry as the DJ, while another transforms the backyard into a skate park, with Jerry awkwardly perched on a skateboard. Beth and Summer are amused but bemused by the spectacle. Morty, on the other hand, grows concerned as the Meeseeks start to show signs of stress due to their inability to complete their tasks. They begin to unravel, their desperation growing, as they are programmed to exist only until their task is completed. As the situation escalates, the house becomes a circus of Meeseeks-induced madness. In a panic, Jerry searches for Rick, who's suspiciously absent, only to find a note on fishing. Figure it out. Morty steps up, remembering how Meeseeks thrive on clear, achievable goals. He corrals the Meeseeks and refines Jerry's wish: make my dad the coolest pop culture trivia master. Armed with a new, attainable goal, the Meeseeks organize a family trivia night. Jerry, with his extensive but often pointless knowledge of 80 seconds pop culture, shines. The Meeseeks cheer as Jerry answers each question with enthusiasm, and the family rallies around him, laughing and enjoying the spectacle. With each correct answer, Meeseeks disappear in puffs of blue smoke, their existence fulfilled. Soon, the last Meeseeks vanishes, leaving behind a joyful and slightly more confident Jerry, basking in his moment of triumph. The chapter closes with the family enjoying a rare moment of collective success, the house returning to quiet normalcy, save for the skateboard ramp in the backyard and a disco ball hanging in the living room. Jerry's quest to be cool might have been chaotic, but it reminded the Smiths that sometimes coolness comes from just being yourself and having fun as a family. Chapter 8, The Schrodinger's Catastrophe. In the calm after the Meeseeks storm, the Smith family enjoys a newfound appreciation for their relatively ordinary lives. However, their peace is short-lived. Rick, back from his fishing trip, resumes work on a secretive project in the garage. The family's curiosity peaks when they hear a soft meowing coming from Rick's lab. Morty, against Rick's strict instructions, sneaks into the garage to investigate. There, he finds a peculiar box labeled Schrodinger's cat do not open. Ignoring the warning, Morty's curiosity gets the better of him, and he lifts the lid. Instantly, the house is filled with the simultaneous sound of purring and silence as a quantumly entangled cat emerges. The cat is an enigma. It blinks in and out of existence, appearing simultaneously in multiple places within the house. Summer is amused by the playful, yet perplexing feline that seems to be both there and not there. Jerry finds himself in a philosophical debate with the cat over whether it exists or not, while Beth is concerned about the potential dangers of housing a quantum animal. The cat's presence begins to cause reality warping effects around the house. Furniture starts to flicker between styles. The television broadcasts shows from alternate realities, and the family's personal items swap with their other dimensional counterparts. Rick, upon discovering the cat's release, scrambles to contain the situation. He explains that the cat is a byproduct of an experiment gone awry, a creature that embodies the principle of quantum superposition. It shouldn't exist in their macroscopic world, as it is both alive and not, present and absent. Morty feels responsible and teams up with Rick to help recapture the cat before its paradoxical existence tears apart the fabric of their reality. Armed with quantum traps and a can of tuna that simultaneously exists in every flavor, they chase the elusive feline around the house. Beth and Summer join the hunt, using goggles crafted by Rick to see the various probabilities of where the cat might appear next. Jerry, determined to contribute, constructs a cardboard box fortress, reasoning that if the cat is Schrodinger's, then it can't resist a good box. The cat, drawn to Jerry's fortress, settles into one box, becoming fully tangible. With the cat no longer in a state of quantum flux, Rick quickly scoops it up and places it back into its containment box, restoring normalcy to the house. Rick commends the family on their teamwork, especially Jerry, whose simple yet effective solutions saved the day. As the family gathers, laughing about the day's surreal events, they agree to a new house rule: no more opening mysterious boxes in the garage. The chapter closes with Rick safely storing the Schrodinger's cat box away, while the Smith family settles down for a quiet movie night, each member secretly enjoying the unpredictable excitement their lives offer. Chapter 9, Doofus, Rick's Accidental Genius. With Schrodinger's cat safely back in its paradoxical box, the Smith family settles into a semblance of normal life. However, the multiverse has a sense of humor, and it isn't long before their peace is disrupted once again. This time, the disruption comes in the form of Doofus Rick, who arrives unexpectedly through a portal in the living room. He's the laughingstock of the Council of Ricks, but he's stumbled upon something that even our Rick finds intriguing: a device that inadvertently induces genius in the intellectually challenged. Doofus Rick, eager to be taken seriously, presents the device, which looks like an ordinary hairdryer. It boosts brainwaves, I think, he says with a sheepish grin. Before Rick can stop him, Jerry grabs the device, intrigued by the possibility of becoming smarter. As Jerry uses the device, his intelligence skyrockets, but there's an unforeseen side effect. Everyone else's intelligence plummets to the level of Doofus Rick's. The Smith household is thrown into disarray as basic tasks become baffling challenges. Summer, who can no longer figure out her smartphone, resorts to communicating with smoke signals. Morty, with his new limited capacity, becomes fixated on creating a pet rock collection, believing them to be actual pets. Beth, struggling to perform the simplest of medical procedures, turns the kitchen into a mock veterinary clinic for Morty's rocks. Jerry, meanwhile, revels in his newfound genius. He spouts complex mathematical theories and creates intricate blueprints for devices that could revolutionize energy production. If only he could remember what a screwdriver is called. Rick, now as doofus as the rest, is the only one who seems to understand the gravity of the situation. With Doofus Rick's encouragement, they embark on a slapstick-filled adventure to reverse the effects of the device. Their efforts are hindered by their own ineptitude, leading to a series of comedic mishaps. In a moment of accidental brilliance, Doofus Rick and Rick, with their intelligences combined, manage to recalibrate the device. Jerry is reluctant to relinquish his intellect but realizes he must for the sake of the family. With a deep breath and a push of a button, the device is activated in reverse. Intelligence levels are restored to normal, leaving the family dazed but back to their usual selves. The house is a mess, filled with smoke signals, pit rocks, and veterinary tools, but the family laughs it off, embracing the chaos as part of their identity. Doofus Rick, proud of his role in saving the day, decides it's time to leave, his self-esteem significantly boosted. Before he steps through the portal, he turns and gives Jerry a knowing look, a silent acknowledgement of the brief connection they shared as kindred spirits. The chapter closes with the family cleaning up the aftermath of their latest adventure, each member a little wiser for it. Jerry, with a newfound respect for his regular intelligence, takes Doofus Rick's departure harder than expected. But he's comforted by the family's reassurance that he's perfect just the way he is. Chapter 10. The Intergalactic Kitchen Kerfuffle. As the portal closes behind Doofus Rick, the Smith family reflects on the recent surge of mind-bending events. They agree on a collective hiatus from all things extraterrestrial. However, as they soon discover, the universe isn't quite finished with them yet. The calm is broken by a knock at the door. Jerry, still a little down from Doofus Rick's departure, opens it to find a delegation from Gazor Pazor. They present an invitation to what appears to be a prestigious event, the Great Gazor Pazor Bake-Off. The winner's prize, a powerful universal cleaner that can erase any mess, a tempting offer for a household constantly in the throes of chaos. Despite their reservations, the Smith family can't resist the allure of a cleaner, quieter life. They accept the invitation, and with Rick as their reluctant head chef, they embark on a culinary adventure to Gazor Pazor. Upon arrival, they are greeted by an array of alien contestants, each with baking skills that surpass the most elaborate earthly patisseries. The Smiths, with only their basic human cooking knowledge, must face off against the galaxy's best. Morty and Summer are assigned as sous chefs. Jerry is the taster, and Beth manages the team, using her surgical precision to ensure the decorations are flawless. Rick, channeling an odd mix of Gordon Ramsay and Albert Einstein, leads the team with a concoction of science and sass. Their task, to bake a cake using ingredients never seen on Earth, flour bean from the meadows of Meepzork, sugar crystals from the Comet confection, and Glormax eggs, known for their explosive flavor. The Smiths must combine these alien ingredients to create a dessert not just palatable but exemplary. The competition is fierce, with dishes that defy gravity, change flavors with each bite, and even sing to the judges. The Smith family, in typical fashion, turns their kitchen station into a scene of creative chaos, with flying frosting, culinary laser beams, and at least one small fire extinguished by Morty's quick thinking. As the timer ticks down, the Smiths put the finishing touches on their creation, a multi-layered cake that embodies the essence of their unpredictable life. It's a little messy, a bit odd-looking, but undeniably full of heart. The judges approach, a panel of the most esteemed chefs in the galaxy. They taste, they ponder, and to the Smith family's surprise, they declare the Earthlings' cake a triumph of flavor and ingenuity. Amidst cheers and a sprinkle of disbelief, the Smiths are awarded the Universal Clean. They return home, trophy in hand, and a sense that maybe, just maybe, their wildest days are behind them. The final scene shows the Smith family back in their kitchen, the Universal Cleaner placed prominently on the counter. Rick eyes it skeptically, but Beth reassures him, let's just keep it for the real messes. As they gather for a celebratory meal, the camera pans out, leaving the viewer with a snapshot of a family that thrives in the face of the extraordinary, their bond strengthened by every cosmic trial. And somewhere, in the depths of space, a Gazorpian announcer teases the possibility of a future challenge, hinting that the adventures of the Smith family are far from over. But for now, they enjoy their moment of victory, a rare slice of normal in the life of the universe's most unconventional family.